Welcome back, everybody. It's time for
Yeah.
Do you want to intro?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, guys, welcome back to WPC Ace, and we have two best of two coming up today. Our first one is gonna be Vichy Gaming versus Tongfu, and Tongfu has been on a hot streak lately, being ended by yesterday. It was LGD Gaming that was in a 2-0 victory, and then Vichy Gaming, we saw them earlier today against
Tongfu.
IG.
No. Oh yeah, IG.
Yeah, and IG was able to beat them in a 2-1 best of 3 series. So.
Yeah, that was for NEST. The other semifinal has been postponed. It will be happening after WPC Ace today. We will be casting it. At least I will be. Lumi may be getting some beauty sleep for tomorrow.
Getting some Z's. We have a long day tomorrow, so I want to make sure that I'm energized for that.
But yeah, Tongfu versus Vichy Gaming. WPC Ace does continue now, and these are two teams that I think since 6.79 came out, these are the two Chinese teams that have played the best. Vichy Gaming, Tongfu. IG and DK were your best teams in 6.78, at least post TI3, but they have not been the best teams in this version.
I think LGD International also has played significantly better.
Yeah, I still don't put them in the same department as these two.
Although, like, the way that they started when they first moved to China, you can only go up from there. So.
They're the most improved team. Yeah. I agree with you there.
Okay, so let's actually go into the draft here. We see Pugna and Rubik as the selections for Vichy Gaming, and then Alchemist plus Visage.
Yeah, first pick Alchemist by Tongfu, and they've really been favoring this. They have put it mid on occasionally, but more often than not, it's a support Alchemist that we see out of them.
Yeah, ZSMJ's been utilizing that hero quite well. We saw him yesterday trying to kind of carry from the 4 row. Didn't really have the... I think the item choices was a little bit kind of suspect and really wasn't able to use his goal well.
Yeah, well, he just needed a few more items. That's probably what ZSMJ is always thinking is, if I just had 1 more minute to farm. But, rats, you don't always get it. Well, the draft continues now, and Vichy Gaming, they do expect this to be a mid or support alch. They're banning carries, and they're banning Zhou heroes. Don't be surprised if Viper gets banned out now. The anti-mage for Zhou already removed from the pool. But Vichy Gaming have gone for something very different with their side of the draft. They opened, you mentioned Pugna Rubik, and Pugna, a hero who seems like he's hot and cold. Some games he just gets first picked or even banned immediately. Some games just people ignore him.
Yeah, and I think even in the games that he's picked, sometimes he's utilized perfectly in like 5-man Necrobook push strats, and other times he feels like a row filler in a sense. We've seen him being put on the 1 row farming mechs, which is nice. We do see teams having some successes with it, but more often than not, I just don't think it works well. In terms of this particular game, his Pugna ward is going to be pretty good because, you know, Visage is going to be spamming a lot. Same thing with Alchemist, having a somewhat of a lower mana pool. You could zap away, but I think having familiars in the air means that your Pugna ward is not going to survive for too long.
Yeah, familiars are pretty good sniping the ward. You can always decrepify it, though. That's the really strong thing about Pugna. Even if the enemy team tries to kill it, just decrep the ward, and it's fine for a couple extra seconds. But we will see. For now, Vichy actually banned out a Kunkka. Tongfu could be running the support alch, as we mentioned, so they could still need a mid, but this is going to open up the pool a bit for Zhou. We've seen him on Morphling in the past. We've seen him on the Viper in this patch. There is still a Lifestealer in the pool, but that hero just doesn't seem popular lately. Doesn't really match up well against Pugna. We'll see what they go for, but Vichy Gaming, they go to Leshrac here, so a strong dual roaming combo for FY and Fenrir. Most likely, I'm thinking a super Pugna mid. And then we still need 2/2s here, and we still need ROTK's offlaner. Speaking of offlaners, there's only one really premier offlaner left in the pool. That's Bounty Hunter, and I'll be surprised if he slips through much farther.
Yeah. Leshrac is the... not only does it add roaming, like you pointed out, also really good for pushing now. Diabolic Edict plus Nether Blast as the 2 kind of big pushing spell. So very squishy in nature. Pugna and Leshrac very low strength gain, and Rubik is not too hot there. So I think Visage is either going to have a field day in terms of firing off multiple soul assumptions. Either that or he's going to get focused and killed because you cannot allow this guy to fire off multiple soul assumptions.
Yeah, there's like no in between there.
Yeah.
As for Tongfu, they went for Nature's Prophet, and I was going to say the one downside to Bounty Hunter is he doesn't help you stop pushes generally.
Right.
And Vichy Gaming look like they could be going heavy push here. The one thing they're lacking is kind of sustained physical damage against towers. Dragon Knight's in the pool, though. And if they want to go for a Dragon Knight, even giving him the safe lane or putting Pugna safe lane and Dragon Knight mid, I think that would be quite the strong choice, but we'll have to wait and see what he decides to do.
Yeah, I think Dragon Knight fits us perfectly. We don't see him pick too much anymore. I think he's a very common second stage ban, but instead of that, they're going to go for Viper, which...
Kind of a similar role. He's not as good against structures, but he's that tanky frontline hero that can build the mech.
Right, he builds a mech, and if he ever goes into an Acceptor, he really shuts down heroes like Alchemist, where you use that Viper Strike as a kind of a perma slow in a sense. You fire off before the team fight happens, and Alchemist doesn't do much.
Yeah, absolutely. What will Tongfu go for now? They've got their supports, most likely. They've got their Offlane Nature's Prophet. Moo's heroes up in the air. We've seen a lot of Storm Spirit for Moo lately. With mixed results, I don't know if they'll go to it here. So they're looking at Moo's hero, and they're probably looking at Zhou's hero as well.
Reserve time.
Interesting game. I'm trying to think what's left, but they really need something to help deal with this 5-man. And either you just go all in on a ganking lineup and just try and spread the map with Prophet, or you try and pick a carry who can actually take the 5v5 clashes, in which case there's a Gyro, there's a Dusa. I think those are probably the two best remaining options.
Dusa sounds pretty good, actually. I mean, Ventral Spirit definitely allows them to pick into something like Dusa. Vici Gaming right now mostly having a ton of single focus. Like Viper, Rubik, these are very much so single focus. Yeah, sure, there's Lestrak and Pugna, but I think when you have a Viper Strike on a hero, that's the hero that you're going for. And I think having a Ventral Spirit to go against that is a great start. That also allowed Tongfu to pick, for example, into a 1-row carry or a 4 protect 1 strategy, and really make sure that one carry is going to be able to do all the DPS. Ventral Spirit really good offensively and defensively on that regards.
Yeah, Venge pretty versatile. With the Venge pick, this then puts Alchemist either into the 1 role or into the solo mid role. So no longer the support Alch. We won't see the 4 positions ESMJ Alch this game, unfortunately, but we'll see him getting a little more farm priority. Problem is, he doesn't lane well against really anyone on Vici Gaming. You can just sit there and spam your poison spray. That's fine, but Pugna Viper are going to beat him. And now Vici Gaming go for the Jug. So very strong pushing lineup. And Tongfu, actually, I think they're pretty well equipped to deal with Juggernaut. They have the Familiars and Treants, which can go and try and snipe the ward. But I say that the ward's move speed has been buffed a lot.
Yes,
so
yes.
Anything sniping it comes down to micro. If your Juggernaut player 2-2, I imagine, is on top of it, might be very difficult. Actually, I say 2-2. Is this either they're going aggressive tri-lane, or is it possible RTK is going to take a page out of Ice Ice's book and take the Juggernaut off lane?
I mean, I don't really like Juggernaut off lane because I've never actually seen it work. But hey,
Ice Ice had that one clowny game. I think they ended up winning, but
not because of Ice Ice.
Yeah, he wasted a lot of people's time. But boots first. It was cute, but Jug does want some levels. You really want to max the healing ward and blade through. You don't want to be. He's not a bounty hunter that you want to be level 2 at the mid game.
Okay, so it looks like we're gonna see Clinks, which I'm not sure
Clinks.
Whether this is a good pick in this case, because this Decrepify does a lot against your burst damage output. You Orca somebody and you strafe and you plan to kill him, and then Decrepify comes and you're like, oh well, let's try to move on to the next target.
Yeah, and Clinks is also not a very good hero against Death Balls. He's much more of a pick-off specialist. He doesn't want to be 5-man until he has Orchid BKB. And even then, there's always Viper Strike, Omni Slash, and, like you mentioned, the Decrepify to just waste his BKB duration by Decrepifying somebody who's being focused. So we'll have to wait and see, but I think for Tongfu, they have to have a decent laning stage here, get some early kills. You don't want to enter the mid-game on even footing, because if you do, then Vici Gaming just start taking towers, and Tongfu have decent split push, but I'm not really convinced it's good enough. Vici Gaming can just be going for tier 2s like the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you look to Zhou as well as your Nature's Prophet player to say whether we could take those tier 1s or even tier 2s, because strafe, against an unprotected tower is kind of pretty strong. So we do see ROTK taking that Juggernaut. I think we might see an offlane Juggernaut. Another possibility is actually go offensive trialing with Viper. Since the fact that your poison attack is, max or no cooldown at level 1, you could kind of just orb walk with the help of, Edict or Splitter or Lift as a possibility to set up a couple of kills.
Yeah, you definitely can. At the same time, Viper very level dependent, and put him into a tri-lane is going to leave him quite under-leveled. But is normally known for being a 1v1 specialist. Really can dominate almost any hero 1v1. I've even seen Vipers beat OD, so... Well, with that being said, we can introduce our teams now. It's going to be Vici Gaming versus Tongfu. Game 1 of a 2-game series for WPC Ace. And we start on the dire side. ROTK, the heart and soul of this team. He'll be playing your Juggernaut. Fenrir, part of that legendary, or quickly becoming legendary support duo, I should say, on the Lestrak. FY, the other component, the young gun on the Rubik. Super, the solo mid Pugna. Stable, solid player. And that leaves 2-2. The guy who should have a big question mark over his name, because he's supposed to have been somewhat replaced by Sylar, but, well, we see 2-2 playing in WPC Ace, we saw him playing in NEST, and Sylar's just cooling his heels in the corner.
Yeah, 2-2 earlier, he didn't have a good Spectre game either. I think that's where maybe showing a bit of his inexperience comparing to Sylar. Sometimes he is gonna give you the good one row carry. Other times a little bit suspect. So let's see which of the two is gonna show up today.
Absolutely. On the Radiant side, it's Tong Fu. This team spearheaded by the man that some call the Burden. I call him the king of IG. He's Zhou. He's the Clinks. XTT is going to be playing your Nature's Prophet. That puts Mu into the solo mid Alcrol. Sangsheng going to be on the Visage. And ZSMJ, a former legendary one-position player. Burning is his protege, and he'll be playing the Vengeful Spirit. But, yeah, I actually am a big fan of Zhou. I feel like this fresh start with Tong Fu has been so good for him.
Okay.
He still makes mistakes. He's not as safe or reliable a carry player as a Burning or even Sylar, but he makes big plays. I like his drafts a lot, and I think he's one of the more versatile drafters right now on the Chinese scene. And frankly, he's playing a lot better than he was at TI3. At TI3, I felt like every game I watched IG, I wouldn't say it in a cast, but I was just thinking, man, Zhou is just like feeding and costing his team the game. And every player you spoke to who was watching IG's games was like, what's wrong with Zhou? This guy is just, he's not playing well.
He's better than what he gave.
He's playing a lot better than he was at TI3. And I think that's where they just had a bad environment. Chuan was very unhappy with him. It seemed like maybe the team was a bit frustrated with Zhou as well. And if the environment gets that negative, I feel like it doesn't matter how good you are. You are liable to struggle because you rely on your teammates to back you up, not to tear you down, Wimmy.
All right, well, so for now, we do see some kind of crazy shenanigan coming out from the Tongfu support. ZSMJ and Shansheng kind of hiding on these top patch of trees. I'm not sure. I guess they're trying to first blood with the Nature's Prophet.
You can actually do this pretty easily now because of the new creep equilibrium. The creeps are going to meet like right here. It used to be that you'd actually be better off backstabbing as the safe lane team because the creeps meet like, well, actually even farther, like over here. And then you come out as the dire side and backstab. But nowadays, you could actually backstab as the off lane team.
So I think what they're expecting is a Viper solo off lane, but it's going to be that Juggernaut safe lane. So he's going to be able to just easily spin away from a magic missile.
Yeah, they don't have the burst to kill him. Even if they get the magic missile stun, he should be fine.
I think against a Viper, you open with Grave Chill, you attack a couple times, and then you magic missile, you attack a couple more times, and generally that he's dead.
Maybe they're hoping RTK will just eat a lot of harassment first.
Or use a spin like to harass. Then you go for the kill.
Which RTK, he's aggressive. He may even do that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, middle lane, it's going to be Mu on the Alchemist. He'll be picking up a regen rune. And super, I'd say a matchup that should favor the Pugna, but it's not too bad for Alk. You can always just drop Acid Spray and stay out of the lane. And then our final lane is going to be Zhou. He just always does this to himself. He really puts himself on an island as a carry, and well, he'll be up against the aggressive Trillion as Clinks. This is not a fun space for him.
Yeah, you say that, Viper beats almost every 1v1, and I think Clinks included here. Clinks may actually trade kits a couple but that's gonna come out. I think they actually scouted out Zhou.
He bought a TP scroll, but he bought it from the wrong location, and now, well, he goes invis, but he's lifted up, he's thrown back down, and he is gonna give up first blood.
I mean, I think that was just great play from FY, just basically blind dusted. He kind of knew where Clinks was, and I think
they had the sentry ward right in the lane.
Well, they didn't see him because Clinks was right there.
That's the point. Because they don't see him, they know he's got to be in the area.
Well, I also think what FY basically did was he popped open the menu and he saw Clinks turn level 2 and was like, where the hell is he actually getting experience? There's only a couple of spots there. So he dusted there and just checked the obvious spot and got the kill there. So that was really on point from Vichy Gaming supports.
Yeah, completely agree. And meanwhile, it's a Clinks who's just a much easier, squishier target than Juggernaut. As a result, RTK getting levels, he's not dying. They are pushing an early tower, and I guess that's a decent trade for Tongfu, but is it good enough is the question. So far, they're winning mid. Surprisingly, Super's really struggling on the Pugna, last hit under tower. And I would say, actually, because Tongfu are going to get the tier 1 top, and they're winning mid, as long as they don't die too much, they're actually doing well in this laning stage.
Yeah,
despite the first one.
I think Mood, because he's winning mid so hard, and now with the double damage,
that
he's going
to change.
Yeah.
Well, here comes your smoke gank.
I'm actually somewhat surprised that the tower went down so very quickly on the top lane. I thought maybe RTK could protect it a little bit more, but that's not the case. Meanwhile, the bottom crawl on the Ancients, that's a good spot to do it, because I don't think they will expect you to do it there.
Yeah, you already know that Vichy Gaming were running the defensive Trillion bottom. They are going to go in mid now, though, on Mu. He's level 4. He gets decrepified. The blast comes through, but he does have boots here. He's just going to hoof it north. He'll be fine. He even lobs out a stun. On to FY. Give him the right click. Mu picks up the kill, and Sangsheng's here. Fenrir on the run. A couple more from him. They'll get 2. Tong Fu just that was just great positioning and movement for Mu.
Yeah, I mean, oh, it looks like it's not over yet. 2 more Sun lobs out, and Super is going to go down as well. Suddenly, Tongfu off to a great start.
They're not done yet. They might get FY here as well. No magic missile.
Yeah, they're out of nukes for now. They're all cooling down, so...
Meanwhile, XTT has been caught off by Fenrir. Both supports for Vici Gaming instantly back into this fight. Out comes your Edict, slowly ticking him down. It needs... Yep, that'll be a kill.
I have no idea why he moved the Treants backwards. The Treant was actually tanky Diabolic Eat damage, so...
Yeah, not the best micro from him. It might have gone down anyway since Split Earth was cooling down, but... A little bit unfortunate. Overall, though, Tongfu should be happy with that because the main thing is they've given Zhou a little space, and now Tutu's going to die bottom lane. Sangsheng comes in. One more click. There you go. All of a sudden, that Clinks that gave up first blood, this is just how Tongfu plays nowadays. Zhou gets no help. Occasionally, he'll die against the tri-lane, but his mid does well. The supports do well. The offlaner does better than he normally does. Nicely done, though, by Super. They tried to go in mid. The Splitter off the mark, and right as the Aux stun comes, he self-decrepifies, so he does not take any damage because it is physical.
Shansheng being lifted, he eats a blast to the face, and the fact that he doesn't really have much magical resistance shows there because the Nether Blast just kind of tore through his HP.
As well as, yeah, it's just a lot of nuke damage in general from Vici Gaming, so maybe one of those few games where the Visage nerfs are actually going to matter.
Yeah, it definitely mattered there.
They almost never do.
Yeah. I mean, either you get stunned and die, or you just don't take too much damage.
Yeah, Visage is normally the one dishing out the damage, not taking it.
Right.
So, well, if you get caught in the river, then you're taking it, Lumi.
So I think that solo kill, or that kill in particular, helped Super quite a bit. He is one of the more level-dependent hero out there, so he's getting a little bit. We'll see if he's actually putting more points in Nether Warts or Decrep. I think Nether Warts generally the better secondary skill, but we'll see.
Decrepify doesn't really scale that well. I mean, it lasts a bit longer, but everything else about it is the same. And the cooldown goes down, but truthfully, it's just not a spell you need to spam most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a ton of mana and you can spam it with the Acceptor, then that would be pretty cool, but obviously he's very far from that, so that's why we do see the Ward being generally the secondary skill of choice.
And Vici Gaming is a lineup that wants to be grouping in the mid game, and that's where having a maxed Ward is really powerful for them and really important for them. Whereas leveling up Decrepify, it's more of like a ganking spell, a solo killing spell, and a defensive spell, but they just want to be 5-man clumping and taking towers.
Alright, they see Zhou running by. Zhou, a ton of HP being grabbed from that Walken, so he should be okay. I wonder what Zhou's going to be going for. Obviously, Orc gets the good choice here, but I think he needs to stop for treads. Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet picking up one in the jungle. Not over yet, though. XCD tanking a little bit of damage. FY running to the new Roshan pit. Fenrir is going to be the person they're focusing on. They're going to get one, but here comes Viper on the back line.
This is a double kill. There's no way out for FY. Quickly, he'll fall, and now they're going to fight Tutu as well. They just bounce back. This could be 4 dead. No Sprout.
Yeah, there's a Sprout.
What? From that Sprout?
I think that was ground targeted. That could have been a max range, and Tutu's going to go down as well. The Decrepify's trying to keep him alive a little bit longer. He might be alive. No, he didn't juke backwards. Shansheng dropping low as well. Super now getting focused. The bounce from RTK gets 1 kill. He doesn't have mana for the spin. Oh, XTT trying to get the deny. Looks like RTK just chops him off.
Someone throws out a wild smoke in the midst of that, it looks like. But, wow, Vici Gaming, they're giving up a lot of kills here, Lou. I mean, score's 9-4. And this is what I meant when I said Tongfu. Like, I mean, I said they should have a good laning stage, but this goes beyond that. Vici Gaming are just giving up so many kills that even if they try to 5-man, it's going to be very underwhelming at this point. Prophet's almost level 6. Your Alchemist has 3 points in Acid Spray. And Vici Gaming don't have their core items or levels. RTK is level 7, but you have a level 5 Pugna. Not even a max Nether Blast. No mech in sight for this team. I just feel like Vici Gaming is not getting off the ground with their 5-man pushing lineup.
Yeah, ironically, the people that are dying are your supports as well as your solo mid. And those are the people that kind of need to stay alive because the push really is fueled by them. ROTK surviving is pretty nice because he's putting more points in those Nether Wards, but, I mean, they really need a farm Pugna, and they're not getting it right now.
Vici Gaming do not want to turn this into a farm war. You're up against Alchemist. Eventually, he gets Greevil's Greed. The Prophet doesn't almost have Midas, but is working towards one. And you've got a Clinks, who was shut down early, but goes back for a Soul Rain. This is an item that means you never have to go base. You will always have full mana. You can constantly spam Death Pact on cooldown. So even spam Searing Arrows a bit to push towers. So Zhou, more of an eco build from him. But if it's not punished in like the next 3 to 5 minutes, it quickly pays off.
It's also like a very mini Hannah Midas because you could basically use that Death Pact as a Midas effect almost. Eats a creep every time. Normally you're limited by the mana, but obviously not here.
Zhou going in bottom lane. He's got backup in tow. It's from XTT, and Tutu Caught out of position, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He'll give up another. Vici Gaming just, dare I say it, on a bit of a feeding spree here, Lumi.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure
A lot
why...
of these kills, heroes are just like running in by themselves, just completely, or they're just getting caught out by themselves.
Yeah, I mean, not having vision there really hurts, and my question to Tutu was, why was he really there? Mid lane, the stun goes off here.
Nice
Looks like
decrepify by Super, dodging the damage. Is it enough, though?
they should have lift, but he didn't use a lift. FY is gonna die. I think if he lifted Mu to toss him back to ZSMJ,
Maybe.
that could have worked out.
Rare moment where you do have to wonder if he made the right play there. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they picked off RTK. Tong Fu are just slaughtering Vici Gaming. They lead 12-4. Already a 3K gold lead, 2K experience lead. This team, they're the lineup that is supposed to be dealing with the push, but
yeah,
they're the ones delivering the push. They've got the familiars up, the Prophet getting close to the Midas. He gets the tower last hit. Pretty much has it now, and Oblivion Staff #1's done on Joe. This is going from bad to worse to Vici. I feel because of the nature of their lineup, their ability to actually win this game is like very minimal at this point.
Yeah, Pugna, more and more to me as I see more and more of these games being played, reminds me of Razor. It's a hero that really needs to do well in the laning stage to have a big impact in the mid game, because what does an underfarm, underlevel Pugna do right now? He has a headdress.
And he's not a comeback hero either. So yeah, that's where I really agree he's like Razor.
In theory, he has Nether Blast, which is a great flash farming spell, but where are you going to find those creep wave? You can't really just strut down the mid lane and start blasting creeps.
It's great, but it's not as good as, you know, some other flash farming heroes, like a Shadow Fiend. You have your Alchemist with Acid Spray, and he can't farm Ancients either, which is a big limitation for the hero.
Right.
But Vici Gaming, they were smoked up bottom lane. Unfortunately, they get revealed by a well-positioned hero, Song Sheng, just hiding in the trees. And while that was happening, they took the tier 1 mid.
Moose off to no man land. He gets stunned in the river. Looks like
he's got a mech here.
Well, he's gonna...
No, that's not gonna happen.
That's a pretty big kill. That's a killing spree for RTK, so he gets a big chunk of gold. Drums is up on the team, so, you know, all is not lost for the team.
It's good that Vici Gaming get that kill, but their lineup really wants to get a kill and then transition immediately into a tower push. And the lanes just aren't pushed out enough to make it happen. So they'll push in mid. They might get the tier 1 here, but I don't even think so. Visage TP's in. They've already got Treants in reserve as they parade towards the middle lane, and there's still a glyph available. Alcor respawn. He'll have mech with Chemical Rage. If Tong Fu want to trade or just give this up, they can, but I think they could defend this.
Yeah, and they got to back out now. The birds are in position. Well, they're going to try to stun. They do get RTK for now.
Nice stun. That's going to catch out too. In comes the SMJ, not level 6 yet. Did have a magic missile there, but chooses not to throw it. Can easily Blade Fury dodge that, so Vici Gaming, they get the kill on the Alc. Nice kill for them, but that's it. And despite that kill, I'm pretty sure the gold graph should be going up anyway. In fact, it is, because they've got a Midas, they've got a Clinks and a Prophet, and Vici Gaming just don't have the mobility to gank those heroes. There's no Storm Spirit or Lifestealer on this team. There's no Prophet on their team. They just can't keep up with Tong Fu's mobility.
Vici Gaming did draw a glyph on the mid tower. I think if the glyph wasn't there, they would have probably did a ton of damage to that tier 1, or maybe even taken it. So
yeah, they probably would have gotten it.
If Vici makes another good play like that, find a hero in the jungle, in the river, and then just go for another tier 1 tower, they would get that one. So I think Vici is definitely not out of it. This is a team that could perhaps snowball with a couple tower kills, get a couple of Necrobooks, and just put this game, you know, out of reach. But that's... They need to have good plays, one after another. Yeah,
when I said this game is probably over for them, it's not that they can't win. It's more that their lineup is designed to get a quick early lead on towers. And, well, Fenrir, he's going to get caught out now. Zhou comes in. There'll be 1 or 2 Searing Arrows. Just the 1. That's it. And this Alchemist Clinks combo is very potent. The physical damage of Searing Arrows is stronger in this patch, plus 10 at all levels. And more importantly, you've already got max Acid Spray. So Zhou is just hitting like a truck. And then you throw the Vengeful Spirit on top of it. This is a sick physical damage lineup.
Yeah, I really like the fact that ZSMJ is not maxing the nuke. He says, we really don't rely on the stun damage. It's really, you know, everything else in between, the physical right clicks. So the fact that he's shooting more passive, more aura is really, really good. Meanwhile, Super need to run for the team. He's close to a mech, and having a mech is key, but yeah. What's up?
Oh, okay. No, I got confused. For some reason, I thought they were building 2 mechs, but that is not the case. Never mind. I thought I saw Tutu building one earlier, but I was mixing him up with the Alchemist, so. Okay, I was going to say, a little panic moment for Vici Gaming fans out there, but no need to panic just yet. It's still not looking... Their lineup's just... To finish my point from earlier, they're just not designed to play from behind. This is a lineup that gets ahead early and rolls from there, but they're not good at getting hero kills, they're not particularly good at flash farming, and they're just going to lose in an arms race, which is what this is turning into.
Uh-oh, TP coming in, and Juju's going to get focused to crep him and TP out. I think it's a... I'm not sure if it's...
No, he was stunned that whole time. Never had the chance. He does drop his ultimate, but what good is it really going to do? XTT maybe has to TP
The supports are running in, though.
right
Without
back.
support, ZSMJ's going to get focused. Spirit being focused on him as well. He's going to get bursted down. Very nicely done. This is where you retreat. RTK comes in. Got a spin. He Blade Fairy dodging the stun here. Moose stuns himself. Maybe they can set up a play on him. He's regenerating a ton, though.
Those right clicks, the solo assumption, it's too much. Moose still at full HP. He barrels forward looking for more kills. He's going to find somebody, be it FY, be it Fenrir, unless they can fog him. FY, the juke's not good enough. He'll go down.
Fenrir's the next
And
one
they're
in
not done
trouble.
yet.
Soul Assumption's going to fly through one more. Oh, what a decrepify.
But
Soul
he's dead.
Assumption?
More
no.
Soul Assumption?
Splurf.
Yeah, he's dead. Yep, he's dead. Meanwhile, Tutu's respawn. This fight has been going for so long. He's back into it. The Pugna gets stunned. He did not have mana for it to decrepify. Super's going to drop. Tutu could well be next. Killed in the shadow of his own base. Butchered like cattle. Vici Gaming. Pretty sure that was a team wipe, Bloomy. As RTK just now respawns. Your Rubik just now respawns. 19-7 your score. And FY's back in. He wants to die again. And I think he might. He's stolen skill to walk here.
No, it's going to be okay. RTK going to get focused. RTK another flame arrow. The TP gets canceled.
This is fountain farming at the enemy tier 2.
I think this is where you call it GG if you're Vici.
Like this, they're literally respawning, TPing in, and dying again. It's the equivalent of getting fountain farmed. You sit in your fountain, you respawn, they kill you.
Well, the big difference is that fountain hits a lot harder than this tier 2.
Yeah, that's the problem, is there's no fountain to protect them. I've never seen a team get fountain farmed at 15 minutes, but this is it.
Who's going to stun himself? Not that it matters.
Still has his ultimate up. Still has the mech. Yeah, he'll be fine. So they're now up by 10,000 gold. And they've got the better late game lineup. And they've got the better split push. And I honestly don't know how Vici Gaming come back into this
I was
game.
surprised that RTK didn't rage call GG right there. Because it really...
He reserves his anger for the enemy team. The peons that he faces
I mean,
battle.
he called a 16-minute GG against a Bristleback earlier. And then that was anger there, too.
Yeah, that was IG, though. Maybe he doesn't respect Joe. Maybe that's RTK's attitude here.
Okay, here comes Moo and the rest of the team, Tong Fu.
Orchid's online now for Joe. They can easily focus RTK. They actually throw the silence on Super, so he can't decrepify. Now they march in on him. Tutu's just melting. Look at the physical damage output. This
Jesus
team.
Christ.
This is just awful.
Okay, that's when you call it. There you go.
Yeah, they just got casually team wiped. They didn't even lose.
They literally just walked. There was no massive AoE. It was just acid spray and a terror.
I like the silence from Joe there. Silences the Pugna.
Yep.
Make sure the outstun hits him without Decrepify dodging it, and that was it.
I thought you would silence the Juggernaut, prevent the spin and Omni Slash, but it wasn't even necessary.
I guess he could have silenced the creep, and it wouldn't have mattered. They were really far ahead.
Yeah.
So Tong Fu, they're cruising. They're in second place, and I believe they're like really establishing themselves as the second place team. They've taken down Vici Gaming. They took down DK shortly after this patch came out. I think they took down IG, or did they split with them?
No, I think they split against LGD China, which is
LGD China.
Yeah.
So overall, they're above 50% win rate against all of these top 6 teams.
And then you have your WPC A and B looking forward to face them for some easy points.
That's the other thing, is Tong Fu has the easy teams coming up.
Yeah.
Or at least what you imagine will be. Yeah, let's be honest. They're the easy teams.
Yeah, this matchup is very important because Tong Fu and Vichy is fighting for the 2 to 5, 2 to 6 slots. So if you beat one of those opponents, you're in good standing.
Well, that wraps up game 1. Any closing words here? Or?
No. Let's go to game 2 soon.
Yeah, don't fall behind if you pick Pugna Juggernaut. You need to be winning the laning stage. Vici Gaming, well, they just get clobbered, but they'll try to bounce back in game 2. I'm LD. He's Lumi. We'll be right back.